Somewhere, a horse still remembers exactly how you made it feel. Not your name, not the year, not even your face exactly. Something more specific than that. Picture it. A field, late afternoon. You're maybe 11 years old. Someone lifts you up onto a horse you'll never see again. You pat its neck. You feel its heartbeat under your palm. You forget this by dinner.
The horse doesn't. You've probably done this: a county fair, a trail ride, your cousin's farm one summer years ago, 5 minutes with an animal you assumed was neutral, present but not really paying attention, reactive, not perceptive, a big calm animal doing what it's trained to do. That assumption is wrong. In 2016, researchers ran a simple test. They didn't bring in an angry person, they didn't raise anyone's voice, they just showed horses a single photograph. A still image of an angry human face. No person attached to it. No context. Just a photo. The horses' heart rates went up. Not because they were trained to react. Not because anyone taught them what anger looks like. Something in their nervous system already knew. A flat image was enough to trigger a real physical response. The same response you'd expect, if the anger were standing right in front of them. Here's where it gets stranger. When horses looked at that angry photograph, researchers noticed something specific. They didn't just glance at it. They consistently turned their heads to view it with one eye in particular, the left eye. That's not random. The left eye feeds primarily into the right hemisphere of the brain, the hemisphere more associated with processing threat, which means before a horse even finishes deciding how to act, its body has already made a hemisphere-level judgment about your face. A decision running underneath the decision you can actually see. It gets more specific than that too. Horses have been tested on something even stranger. Matching a voice to a face. Play a recording of someone speaking. Stand a different person in front of the horse. If the voice doesn't match the face, the horse notices, visibly. It reacts with confusion, sometimes unease, like something doesn't add up. That's not simple recognition. That's a file. Face plus voice plus identity. Cross-referenced in real time, the same way you'd notice instantly. If someone's voice didn't match their mouth in a badly dubbed film, except the horse is doing that live. About you, without being asked to. Picture that same horse from earlier, years later. A different person leads it into the same field, same gate, same fence line. But something about the way this new handler moves is different. The horse notices before anyone else would. Not because anything was said. Because the file didn't match. There's one more layer underneath all of this. A horse's heart rate doesn't only respond to a photograph or a face. In documented cases, when a handler's stress rises, the horse's heart rate rises too. In sync, not eventually. In real time, moving together. Like two instruments tuned to the same frequency. When the handler calms down, the horse calms down with them for a few minutes. On a lead rope, in an arena, in a field, you and the horse are not two separate systems anymore. You're synchronized, and it's not always clear which one of you is leading. Now stack all of that together. A horse that reacts to your face, even in a photograph. A horse that processes that face specifically as a threat assessment. A horse that can tell if your voice matches your identity. A horse whose own heartbeat rises and falls with yours. That's not a blank animal standing next to you. That's an animal running a constant assessment of exactly who you are, exactly how you're doing. There's one more thing researchers found. Something almost nobody expects. Horses can read human pointing. That sounds small. It isn't. Most animals cannot do this, even ones raised by humans their entire lives. Point at an object. A dog struggles with it sometimes. A chimpanzee, one of our closest relatives, often fails this test completely. A horse, most of the time, gets it right away. Nobody bred horses for this. Nobody trained generations of horses specifically to follow a fingertip. It appears to have emerged on its own, a side effect of thousands of years standing close to us, reading us, watching what we do with our hands, our eyes, our shoulders, because their safety once depended on it. That's the part worth sitting with. This wasn't designed. It was earned, slowly, the way a language gets learned, by someone who has no choice but to listen closely, every single day, for centuries, and it holds on to that. Individual recognition in horses isn't a 5-minute thing. Horses distinguish familiar humans from strangers, sometimes after gaps of months, sometimes longer. And what seems to matter most isn't just what happened, it's how it felt when it happened. A rider who was patient once, months ago, a handler who was rough once, months ago. The horse doesn't need a diary. It has something more durable than that. A feeling, filed under your face. Still there when you show up again. There's a reason this memory doesn't fade easily. Horses are prey animals. For most of their evolutionary history, one mistake meant death. Trusting the wrong thing, misreading a threat, forgetting who was safe and who wasn't, those weren't small errors. They were fatal ones. So the system that tracks you specifically was never optional. It was survival software, running quietly, on every single interaction, whether the stakes were real or not. You walked up to a horse, thinking it was just an animal being petted. It was running a threat assessment, shaped by 100,000 years of getting this exact question wrong, meaning death, and you were the question. So think about this for a second. Somewhere, right now, there might be a horse that met you exactly once. You were frustrated that day. Not at the horse, just frustrated standing near it, your face doing something you weren't even aware of. You don't remember that afternoon at all. It might remember your face doing that. Not the reason, not the context, just the feeling that was in the air, while it stood there, watching you, filing it away. Maybe it was the opposite. Maybe you were kind that day without thinking about it. A slow hand on its neck. A quiet voice because something told you to lower it. You've forgotten that too. It hasn't. Somewhere that horse still carries a small file, with your face in it, filed under safe, or filed under careful, no name attached. It never needed your name. This isn't only about horses, animals we assume are indifferent to us, animals we walk past, pet once, forget completely, maybe quietly building files on us the entire time, files we will never get to read, assessments we will never get to see the results of. You assumed forgetting was mutual, simply because you did it first. Somewhere, a horse still remembers exactly how you made it feel.